Hello, friends. Welcome back. I tried filming this yesterday and I got through a nice long video and then I realized that I didn't have the sound on. So this is take two. Basically, this video is a haul video of all the books that I'm going to be reading for my candidate year at IOTA. So it's a nature-based spirituality course. Um, I'm not actually committed to doing initiation or anything like that. I did a lot of soul searching and I realized that I'm more eclectic in my um, inclinations and I don't really vibe well with ritual and things like that that other people um, assign or develop. I like making my own. So what I am excited about though is all of the reading where you have to delve into the natural history of your local region. So these are the books that were approved, all except for one. I don't have that one yet. So these are 8 books instead of the 9 that are required for the curriculum. You make your own curriculum basically, where um, you send in a reading list of 9 books that deal with the natural history of where you live. I live in Wawiatanong, which is a Anishinaabe word that means where the river bends, and it's otherwise known as Windsor, Ontario. So the Great Lakes region is where I'm focusing on my studies. So with that in mind, I have this very chunky, the once and future Great Lakes country and ecological history. And it's actually quite, I've dipped into it a little bit. It's a little bit of a strange book because it has like this combination of a little bit of memoir and as well as ecological history. So that's kind of unusual, but it's a little bit hard for me to get into because of the kind of shifting genre there. But I might keep this for later. I have a year or more to read these. So, and since I'm not doing the initiation, I'm kind of using my candidate year very loosely as like a guideline of different lifestyle changes that I can make to make myself more in tune with nature. And this one, I think I'm going to have very limited use because of where I live. It's very urban. Um, this is Scats and Tracks of the Great Lakes. One of many field guides. There's a lot of field guides that are in this um, hall, and it's kind of interesting because it really does delve into like how to understand what you're seeing when you look at an animal track. We don't get a whole lot of animals in this area, so that's why I'm a little unsure of how practically useful this is going to be, but I might be surprised. Yet another field guide. This is Ontario Nature Guide. So this is a very this was a quick read. It's you don't really read a field guide from front to back. Um, so I sort of looked through looking for animals that are specifically from my region. So this is dealing with all of Ontario, but my region is sort of its own um, ecological area in the what they call in here the extreme south of Ontario. And so there's a lot of animals, like you don't see moose down here, for example. So this, I just focused in on the animals that live around this area um, and just skimmed the rest. So I'm thinking to go to some conservation areas where I might get a little bit more exposure to animals. We do have a couple of really nice ones with like high grass prairie um, and mixed with like oak forest and also like Carolinian forest as well. This one was a consolation. This is the 2022 Night Sky Almanac. I know nothing about astronomy, so I've always wanted to know about astronomy though. Like when I was little, I wanted a telescope and everything. This was a consolation because the first book that I suggested was an Ojibwe sky map. And so it's basically talking about the lore of the constellations and like the indigenous star knowledge, which I think that indigenous knowledge is scientific knowledge. So I was a little disappointed when that one was rejected because they said that it had too much folklore in it. Um, I'm kind of wanting to contest that, but since I'm not really joining, like fully joining the order, I don't really think that I'm going to get anywhere with that. But I'm looking forward to reading this. In any case, mammals of the Great Lakes region. It's pretty self-explanatory. This is a big one. There's a lot of illustrations though, so yeah, I'm looking forward to this. Mammals are my favorite kind of animals, so I think this is the biggest field guide that I have so far. Yes, this is Plants of Southern Ontario. And you can see it's 528 pages, including illustrations and everything. 760 species. Okay, thankfully they do break it down by region, so I can I can focus in just on this part of the southern part of southern Ontario, extreme south of Ontario. Field guide, we have Ontario birds. There's a lot of birding places in my area, so like in the county, and this is like a prime migration route. There's wetlands in the county where there's a lot of birds that congregate. We do see we do see things like Canada geese, um, and I've seen woodpeckers, chickadees, and finches at our bird feeder. That when we did have a bird feeder. And lastly, there's the magnificently named Ontario Rocks, 3 billion years of environmental change. So this is going to be my first introduction to geology. So I'm getting like a crash course in a lot of different sciences by doing this exploration of Druidry. Um, but like I've said, I'm unsure about my continued path with Aota. I think when it comes to like the requirements for ritual, um, although they are minimal, it just doesn't vibe with me. So I think I'm just going to continue going on my own eclectic hedge path, I suppose. But we'll see. I have finally received my introductory package from the Order of Bards, Ovates, and Druids. So there's a lot of reading to do there. I kind of like their approach a little better because they are very upfront about the fact that a lot of people are a little feel a little have mixed feelings about ritual, and their approach is that like do whatever um, is working for you and leave the rest behind. And so it's very much it's a lot more focused on like the individual um, spin than like say Iota, which is when I raised some issues about like I wanted to adapt my practice. It was more like if I don't do the initiation, for example, in such a way that it follows how it's written, then I won't be doing a proper initiation into the order. So I figured that it probably was not for me. Um, and this, I'm probably not going to join a OBOT either. But I'm getting a lot out of it. I am doing the Bardic course, and um, I'm finding a lot of enrichment for the poetry and the triads that are like wisdom sayings from Welsh and Old Irish. Um, but yeah, I think I'm confirmed in being like solitary. There aren't any actual groves where I live either, which are like organizations or circles. So I'd be practicing on my own anyway. So I see very little benefit in other than just like being on the Discord and the forums of these organizations where I can talk to other people. But yeah, I appreciate the fellowship, but other than that, I think I'm pretty set. So that's all for now. It was nice to get back to talking with you, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye. Here we have some white sage, thyme, and sweetgrass, and a lot of mint. This is taking off beautifully. And in the back we have some za'atar from Palestine. It's like a combination of oregano and thyme. Very distinctive.